We meet a lot of people here on 3+U, enjoy all of them, but sometimes there are some folks who walk in the studio and you just immediately think this is the real McCoy. Well, meet the real McCoys. Their names really are Butler. We've got Chuck and Raymond Butler, father and son, who together form Dalton Distillery. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
We had so much fun when y'all were here the last time. I'm glad you're back.
We appreciate it.
We're going to talk a little bit about what you do at Dalton Distillery, but I want to start with this great event you've got coming up, not this Saturday, but next,
right,
for people watching to come join in the fun.
Yeah, April 13th, people can come out. It's a $150 fee, but they get to end up, they eat breakfast with us. They talk with my dad. They also talk with Donnie and Teresa from Moonshiners TV show. They get to see every stage of fermentation. They get to help and participate in making the mash. So, and we show them the math and science behind it so that if anybody happened to make beer and wanted to distill it, they can actually do the math and know how much alcohol is in that mash that they're making. They know how to figure that up. And Dad shows them how he goes, and his is testing and sampling is based on sight, color, and odor. But then we also have some modern equipment that we can show how to calculate that and let people. It's a real fun educational course. At the end of the course, they end up, after they've seen all the stages of fermentation and sampling of all of our products that we've made over the years, they get to bottle their very own bottle of moonshine. Comes out that they helped make. Right. And they bottle it up, and that's their souvenir bottle.
So look, I am not embarrassed to admit that I'm out of my league here. The fact that you get to come down and talk with Raymond, I'm telling you, it will be a day that you will not ever forget.
You're welcome to come anytime.
So let's talk a little bit about the products you make. When y'all were here before, you had these different vodkas, if I remember correctly, and they had different flavors. And I will confess, I was a little bit, not skeptical, but not sure of, was it really going to be good? I don't know if you know that when you left, people kept coming in the studio around here, and I could hear them talking in the hallway, encouraging other coworkers to come in and sample. It is good stuff.
Yes,
thank you.
How long does it take you to make it, Raymond, and how have you perfected your skill?
Well, it takes, one batch is about 5-6 days, depending on the weather, because if it's really, temperature drops, it slows it down.
Okay.
But right now it's about 5-6 days.
Yeah.
So have you been working at this, Raymond, a long time?
I have.
You don't want to admit how long?
Oh, it doesn't bother me now because it's statute of limitations is gone.
I told you it'd be a day you won't forget.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to sample a little bit this morning.
Yes.
For the class, if I'm understanding this correctly, when you come down, you'll make some moonshine.
Yes.
That's what we have here.
That's right.
What do you call it? Raymond's Reserve.
Right.
That's corn whiskey. It's unaged. It's 111 proof. So the main thing about moonshine, you're wanting to be able to taste that grain or whatever the product's made from. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to have a little bit of heat because it's not aged. The aging process helps smooth it down.
Okay. So how old is this bottle here?
Just a few days old.
So it hasn't aged.
No.
So they're trying to take care of me on the show today. And Chuck said, listen, we're going to let you sample this Blue Hawaii vodka that we'll talk about. But Dad and I are going to sample the moonshine. And I said, well, that's not fair. Mm-hmm. So you're going to let me sample a little bit?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, pour.
All right.
And while you pour, I'll talk a little bit about the vodka. Because, of course, I would be telling you to please drink responsibly. Chuck and Raymond also want to encourage you with that. So the vodka we'll sample here in a minute. You named it.
Responsibly vodka. Well, one of the main things is that we're a small company. We don't be able to spend a lot of money on advertisements. So, one, we wanted it to be a little fun name, responsibly, but also hopefully when somebody's drinking, I've been there where a lot of times you can end up getting carried away and drink too much.
Right.
Hopefully they can know to pull back and be safe. If they feel that they're impaired, they need to call a friend or Lyft or Uber. There's no need to be getting on the road. So it's something, a lot of fun, and the main thing is that we want people to be safe.
All right.
And enjoy our product safely.
All right, that one's for Raymond. Now, when you pour mine, just a little smidge. Whoa, okay.
All right.
I won't be able to drink all that. All right, so please drink responsibly, but now I think in my whole life, I've never had anything 111 proof. What should I be prepared for, Raymond?
Oh, this
Cheers.
is good stuff.
Okay. I'm scared. Whew. It is smooth, though.
Yeah.
Well, another thing that there is a trick.
It's not what I thought.
We end up having a chaser, and we call it the Italian redneck. You can use balsamic vinegar, raspberry balsamic vinegar. And it's an odd thing, but you take that, and it'll help take the heat away, and it's a good comparison. It is.
So you mix raspberry balsamic vinegar.
You take a shot of our moonshine, and then if you like balsamic vinegar, that raspberry balsamic vinegar complements that, and it takes the heat away.
And it's called the Italian redneck.
Yes.
All right, that's awesome. So I tell you what, I do want to sample your blue Hawaii. You're through with this one, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to pour the rest of my moonshine into your jigger.
All right.
Okay. The color alone is going to get me on this one. So remember when I told you, oh, that's plenty. When I told you about the coffee flavored vodkas that you brought, it was surprising to everybody. For one thing, the flavor is there. You taste it right away.
Yeah, you do.
And it's smooth.
Yes.
This one is supposed to taste like pina colada.
Yes, ma'am.
Should it also be smooth?
Well, we think everything's smooth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's like being on the beach in Jamaica.
Yeah. Well, Dad says you can either go there or end up drinking a bottle, and you'll think you've been there.
Okay, let's talk about the class coming up on the 13th. It begins at what time again?
9 o'clock in the morning. They come in. They'll go over a few things that's required by the insurance. While somebody's going over that, they'll be eating breakfast. We'll have coffee available. Then we start.
You don't serve the alcohol with breakfast, do you?
Well, Dad says you have to start early if you're going to drink all day. So yes.
Some of them won't eat early. They do.
It goes good with sausage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The caramel coffee goes real good in your coffee.
That's true. That's true. And it runs in until about 2.
Yep.
Okay. And that's $150 for that full day of fun. But then y'all do tours as well, right? If you want to get a group of friends together and come down?
This Saturday we'll be running the still. They can come in, speak with Dad. Dad will be glad. The samples, if somebody's interested in purchasing a bottle, they look, and we'll be glad to offer them samples to see which bottle they want. Mm-hmm. And then they can get a tour of the facility. It's a small facility, but they can see how much product that we are making there. They see how we make the malt, how we grind it. So they get a lot of information in a short tour.
I do have to ask you, Raymond, because you are the real McCoy. You are the real deal. When you were growing up, you grew up in Dalton?
Mostly. Mm-hmm.
Did your dad do this? Is
Yes,
this a
ma'am.
family practice?
My granddad did.
So do you remember days when he was kind of doing this illegally?
Sure, I was there in it myself.
Well, we got his original still that his grandfather built at the distillery, and it shows where Dad was arrested whenever he was 15, and they cut it down, and that axe marks is there on the still, and Dad can explain that. And we show the difference in a modern still and a still that was done, how primitive it was, but it was still able to produce.
If
it was just a lot more work.
If you have any family pictures from back in the day, bring them next time. We'd love to see. It's a piece of history that we're talking about here.
Back of that bottle, Dad is there. He just got back from Vietnam, and he's there by an old steel site. And he said that was one of the few pictures they didn't photograph themselves committing a felony, but he just got back from Vietnam, and he wanted to do that and see it.
Well, my uncle wanted me to go with him to help him, and he was in there. He had an illegal operation going. But really you don't, if you notice I've got a white shirt on there.
Yeah.
You don't go out to commit a felony wearing a white shirt.
Easy to spot?
That's right.
Okay, let's get you down there. He's a man of few words, but you want to hang on to every one of them, let me tell you. You'll find Dalton Distillery down on East Morris Street in Dalton. Their phone number is 706-484-8255. 833-2790. April 13th is the event with Donnie and Teresa from the Moonshiners TV show. You'll get your own moonshine to take home, 9 to 2. They'll feed you. Right. And then if you wanted to go and take a tour, just simply go online or give them a call. They'll help you that way too.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you. And cheers.
Cheers.
Yes, yes.